Hey gang, Spada here. You know what this is. You've only been asking me for months to review it. So let's get on with it. This is Generation 1 Omega Supreme. Now this isn't the actual original Generation 1 figure. This is the re-release that came out a couple of years ago. And I'm happy to say that I own this guy because this is one of my favorite G1 sets of all time. I never owned this as a kid. Never even saw it in a store. I only knew one person who had it, and he was missing a bunch of parts, so he kind of sort of put Omega Supreme together. This is his base mode. This base mode is huge. I mean, here is my arm. It is almost the entire length of my arm. Comes with a full track, battle tank part of Omega Supreme, the infamous rocket station. It's a full battle station, or a full science battle station. So, he only has one gimmick in this mode, and that is this little button back here on the track. Runs real nice and quiet, doesn't it? Yep, totally quiet. Alright. So, that is his gimmick in this mode. And then there's the rocket ship, which is pretty cool. I still, to this day, don't know how all of this could fit inside this little rocket and still carry Transformers. Oh well. So, the transformation for this is pretty complex. I'm going to go ahead and break down the entire figure for you here, and then show you all the pieces, and then we'll merge them back together. This is one of the figures that I, to this day, really don't care for, or this is the type of figure that I don't care for, in that it's a figure that completely disassembles for one, and then reassembles into one mode, and then you completely disassemble it again, and then put it all back together. I just don't care for that, but let's get going. So first off, we're going to split up the rocket into two halves. Put those off to the side. This guy will go over here. Then we'll come under here. And this whole section will split off to form the backpack unit. Then we've got feet. Yellow clips. The track, which in and of itself splits into three different parts. So do the same thing over here. Then this part of the track separates into four different parts. And I forgot, there is another clip under the center here that holds these together. Slightly unnecessary, but I guess they needed to use up the clip. So I'm going to grab my camera here and give you all a bird's eye view of what we're looking at. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 different parts. I mean, for some models, that is a complete model kit. So, all of these go together in a specific way, and not so much in a specific order, but definitely in a specific way. And they all start with the central tank. So, we'll start the central tank by first folding out these cannons and then taking that backpack unit I was talking about, the one that the missile or the launcher holds up against, and just sliding that over top. And I realized that when you do that, you're going to hit these tracks. So we need to push the tracks down and out. And these suckers are supposed to lock into place, but they don't always, so you just have to leave it. So we'll slip this on top. That will enable us to fold the tank cannon back, which folds out the Autobot symbol. Then we slide this piece up here. Next, we're going to go ahead and start assembling the rest of the body. Or we'll start with the legs first. So what we need to do is take these pieces and get them and get a foot. Just make sure that everything lines up before we put everything together. Okay, so I grabbed two of the wrong pieces, so I need to grab the correct piece. And did I grab the right piece? No, I did not. So we need this one. Okay, so what we're going to do is this big round part where my thumb is goes over this tread bearing. It just sits there. Then we grab our other piece and attach it and just pray. This is a little bit of an issue. Sorry, I got to do this off camera. I need to get everything lined up, and that is not working because I think I have actually chosen the wrong leg. No, I haven't. I thought I did, but I have not. See, this Omega Supreme has always been difficult for me because I can never get things lined up the way they should be. Yep, I did choose the wrong leg. Sorry. It's this smaller hole, not that one. That one goes on the inside of the tread. This one goes on the outside of the tread. And that snaps together, and then you can put it into a foot. And then once that snaps together, grab a small clip, put that up. Nope, sorry, we need a big clip. Nope, not a big clip, a medium clip. Ah! See, this. Actually, we don't need any clips for this one because the clips are for the bigger pieces. So we'll do the same thing on this side. And just pray that everything holds together okay. Now see, if I was a parent back in 1985, 86, I would hate this thing. Because my kid would be wanting me to transform it all the time. I don't know how many kids at the age of 4 would be able to do this. Maybe kids back then were smarter. You know, I'm going to have to say kids back then were definitely smarter. Alright, so next we're going to take these bigger bits, and these will actually go over the legs, the feet. And it's just a question of figuring out which part goes where. Okay, so I don't know if you saw what I did there, but I'll show you again in just a second as soon as I get everything lined up and hooked in. So, what I did was, this piece, there are two pieces on the inside, one of the pegs and one of the holes. The ones with the hole have these little grooves cut out, and those grooves peg in to these tabs right in between the legs. So just kind of lift it up and get it lined up and slid into place. There we go. And that will allow you to grab this one and bring it over and connect the tab into the yellow part here. Then we can just hook this sucker up. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take, this is the peg one, so this will go on the outside. This is the inside part. And as I said, this groove here that's cut in actually corresponds with a tab out on the outside. So let me just lift it up in between its leg. And get it lined up. And there's another tab on this one that goes on the outside that pegs in right here. close it. And then these are used to hold the whole thing together. Finally, twist the head around, extend the lower arms, put the chest plate back, peg on the gun, the bits. There's a button here that instead of just ripping it off, you have to push the button to slide it off. There's a tab inside. I don't think you can see it, but it goes and plugs into right there. So we just get the button lined up. There we go. And finally, the piece de resistance is the backpack, or the back wings. Now, the original G1 just has the wings coming off like this. Unfortunately, it doesn't like to stay on, so there we go. So that's how the original show has him kind of displayed. Now I like adding a little bit more to the wings. Oops, wrong ones. I like actually a full arc, or what I do is I like to use all the track. So what I do is I take a middle piece, and then that piece, and then that piece, and I do the full track, because I'm crazy. I don't like having parts left over. That's just me. And I always have the... There we go. The only issue I have with this figure is this piece right here doesn't like to stay in place. So there we go. We have Omega Supreme. He is fully formed and set up. Oops, sorry. Now, like I was saying, I like to have the full track. That's just me. I know that you use these tracks and just have them as I showed you going out. But I think he looks more intimidating with the full track. So his gimmick, he can move in this mode. And I swear he's louder. So he can walk. His head doesn't spin, but he can freely move his head. Though if you freely move it, he just goes up and down like that. Face is unfortunately not very Omega Supreme. I think there was a version of this figure released that had the more G1 face. Unfortunately, this one doesn't. And I'm fine with that. But this thing is just awesome. I love this figure. It's not cheap at all. It's very expensive. But if you could get it as a gift, that's how I got it. I got it one Christmas when I was younger. I absolutely adore this figure. My only complaint has to be with the box that this thing came in. The box is completely fallen apart. Just completely and utterly fallen apart. But other than that, this figure is great. Yeah, he does have the annoyance of you have to completely disassemble him and completely put him back together to get the other modes. But I adore this figure. I love this figure. To me, this is the type of figure that we just don't get anymore, and we really should. He's so awesome, he's so cool, and he just has everything that a Transformers fan like myself loves. Plus,